But some of you are going to quit on Monday. Why? I got busy. It's kind of like the people in the Arab world in the 1930s. The Arab world isn't like it is today when it had all this oil. Because they didn't want oil, they wanted water. And so they called on the United States to help them find water because we've been pretty proficient at drilling for oil wells. Well, we went to the Arab world, we couldn't find any water for them. Guess what we found? Oil. The world's greatest supply at that time of oil. You imagine being an 80-year-old Arab and saying, now you find it? See, you couldn't see the oil. You can't see the success that is about to come to you if you don't back off and quit. See, most people quit because they have learned to quit over years of practice. They quit everything because that's what people do. And the quitters have a club. And they get mad at everybody and everything because their life didn't turn out to be how they wanted it to. What is Primerica offering you? What is it that we do? There's a man named J. Paul Getty that said, and he was a billionaire in oil from Oklahoma. He said instead of having 100% of your income come off of one person, it's better to have 1% coming off 100 or more people. The only decision you have to make in life is not about Primerica. It's how do you want to make your money in life. You have to make money. And I'll talk about money in my next session, which is my favorite session of all time. And the question is, do you want to make all your money by working for the next 40 to 50 years? Every week, every Monday morning, I owe, so off to work I go. Where you love Fridays and hate Mondays. And you think it's got to get better because it can't get any worse. What are we offering in Primerica? We are not offering you a business to get into. We're offering you an income where the income isn't off of you, but off of 100 or more people. You see, everybody in life seeks freedom. And if you come into Primerica, you've got to desperately want freedom. And it can't be one of those, it'd be nice if I had some freedom. You can't come into Primerica with your house slippers on and your house coat and your robe and say, you know, I'd kind of like to have freedom one day. You should have come in that door with your running shoes on, your running clothes on, ready to sprint towards what? Prosperity. And you have to have a hunger for it and a desire for it. Not sit back and say, it'd be nice. Because why? Life will give you what you are willing to fight for, not what you're willing to take. How long have you been taking it and taking it and taking it? And freedom can be described three ways: time, money, and control. If you have freedom of those three things, you have freedom. And you can never have freedom of 100% income off of one. You can't do it. You'll never have it. And did you know time is for sale? There's plenty of time available because you can buy it. Did you know that? I flew down here in 2.5, 3 hours. It would have taken me about 20 hours to drive. I just bought all those hours. My wife doesn't work outside the home. She doesn't work inside the home either. Honestly, if you were married to Beyonce, would you expect her to wash your clothes? Fix your meals? Make your bed? Please. But your wife? Yeah, she should do that stuff, right? What does that mean? Time is for sale. I bought the last 30-some years, 40 years of my wife. She hasn't had to work. She's been with my kids. She does what she wants to do every day, and not only she's the busiest unemployed person on the planet. If she's going, I don't know what she does, but she doesn't. We have a house cleaner. We got a full-time caretaker. We got a guy hired full-time, comes in, takes care of our property and us. That's what his job is. Make my life better. fix my tire in my car, clean my windshield, clean windows, do this, do that, fix this, fix that. His name is Ricky. Some of you have met Ricky. Been with us for over 25 years. Full time, paying $35,000 a year, just to make my life easy. That's right, he does not do any paperwork at the office. This is our personal assistant. He calls this a caretaker. He's got a title now. See, we buy time. Time is for sale. How much time do you want? Some people didn't come here today because they had to cut their grass. Because they weren't willing to pay somebody $30 to cut their grass. People didn't come last night because they couldn't get a babysitter. No, they couldn't afford a babysitter. Do you want freedom of time? If you're a doctor, do you have freedom of time? No. If you're a dentist, if you're a lawyer, all these professions that most people in this room would kill to be because they make a lot of money, but they have no time. But if you had the same income you have coming in right now, but it's off 100 or more people, would you have all the time in the world? Like, what am I going to do Monday? Whatever I choose to do. I literally some days wake up and say, now I'm going to think about what I'm going to do today. It's amazing how many more movies Carol and I see. It's amazing how, let's go to a movie. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. See, most people, we can't go to a movie except on weekends because they got to work all day long. I don't know how you stay in traffic, but you stand it. It drives me nuts, but you tolerate it. Hour to there, hour back, and you go, whew, had a good day today, got home in an hour. Because why? Why is that? Your income is 100% off of one, and you can't make it. Who's got control in your life? My background, I used to be with the steel company. And we were controlled by everybody but us. My income was dependent on the unions, on the steel workers, the coal people, if they're on strike, the steel people, the shipments, the tire people from General Motors, the foreign imports. Everybody controlled my life but me. Who controls your life? Everybody but you. That's why I laugh at the recent presidential campaign. Everybody's upset. Who's going to be the president? What difference does it make? Your life's not going to be changed. Maybe somebody's, not yours. But you see, when it's 100% off of one, you need somebody to come in there and save you. Because you sure the heck can't do it. Because no matter how hard you work, if you're 30 years old, you're making less money today than your parents made when they were 30. You know, my son got out of college, in 4 years of college, he got a job at $15 an hour and was thrilled. He's up to $18 an hour now, and he is really thrilled. Because none of his friends had jobs. When you make up your mind, and the only decision you have to make is not whether you want to work Primerica. Some of you are going to quit pretty soon because you were convinced, I got a good job with a good career, and they're going to pay me what I'm worth. They may pay you what you're worth, but you'll never have any freedom of time or income. Why? If you have a salary and someone is paying you some money to do something, one day they're going to find someone cheaper to do it. How do I know that? You got a cell phone. You know how many people you have unemployed because of the cell phone? Think about this. Long distance, gone. Copiers, gone. Bell and Howell, gone. Kodak, gone. I made a list of about 30 to 35 different industries where they laid off people. Most people in this room don't even take a newspaper anymore. I went to Boston, and I spent a few days there, and I went to 7-Eleven downtown Boston and said, you have a newspaper? He said, no, we don't carry newspapers anymore. No one reads it. You just unemployed all those people, and you don't care. See, your turn is coming. You got to build a storm shelter for your life. Because when the storms hit, where's your income coming in? I've got a friend of ours that just came down with acute leukemia. She went in on January the 1st. February the 1st, she's losing her job. Now, she's got responsibility. Single mom. Who's going to pay her bills? And no one's coming to the rescue. I'm not talking about health insurance bills. I'm talking about income to pay the bills around the house. You know why? She bet on 100% income off herself. And one day, that's going to come crushing down on your head. And you're going to wish you had a Primerica business where you had 100 or more people that were creating an income for you. Did you see Greg? Isn't that funny? All this money, all these trips. How do you do that? Money coming in without having work. The only decision you're going to have to make in life. How do you want to make your money? You say, well, if I was a famous eye surgeon, I'd make a lot of money. You're not smart enough to become a famous eye surgeon. Or you're not good enough to dunk the basketball or run a 4.440. And if you're like me, you flunked out of college a couple times, you're not smart enough to be one of those people. But you know what? You can have 100 people, and we will get you those 100 people in the next 6 months. I'm not talking about 3, 4, 5 years. You try us. You go up to your manager, you say, Bill said that you're going to get me 100 people in the next 6 months. You are going to get for me. What do I have to do to get that thing started? And you'll have 100 people. You'll start making $2,000 to $4,000 a month. Override part-time income coming in whether or not you work. And if you don't like it at that point, stop. If you don't like making money without having to work, just don't do it anymore. But once you get hooked on that, you get pretty much hooked. Now, why is that? Because when I get in an airplane, I'll be in an airplane today, we all tend to think, well, the purpose of an airplane is to get off the ground. Oh, you can be 3 inches off the ground and still crash. The purpose of an airplane is interesting, because when I get on it now, I always listen to how high they're going to go, and it's always 26, 30, 35,000. They want to get as high as they can because there's no problems down below. I mean, all the problems are down below at 5,000 to 7,000 feet. So the decision is not whether or not you want to be in Primerica, whether or not you want to be in financial services, whether or not you want to come to Tuesday trading. That's not the decision. The decision is you want to live the rest of your life at 35,000 feet like Greg Fitzpatrick was talking about, or do you want to live with the masses at 5,000 to 7,000 feet when you get all the wind shears and the storms and the tornadoes, because they sure are coming. We got, our wonderful friend John and Cindy Aber. Well, 8 years ago, he had a stroke. An infection in his mouth, lodged in his heart. He has a stroke, hasn't been able to work. What would you do? Well, hopefully the government, run to the government. A lot of people are willing to run to the government. See, he had hundreds of people working. His income has not gone below $15,000 to $20,000 a month, and he hasn't been able to work. One of my guys, Frank Joyce, had a stroke 8 years ago. No one goes saying, listen, I think I want to have one of these things so I don't have to work. Like he said, I had a stroke. I wouldn't recommend it. His income has not fallen below $20,000 a month, and his base shop generated a new RVP last month. And he can't walk. He cannot drive. The whole left side is gone. He can't see. But boy, he can sure talk. But he doesn't go into the office. He comes to meetings and does meetings occasionally. He has to have help. He rides around on a scooter. What would you do when your storm comes? It's coming. But you see, what will save you from that? Well, what's your storm shelter? 100 or more people that our system and your manager can get for you. Once you get the 100 people, decide whether or not you really want to get serious about this. Again, it's not a matter of whether or not you want to be in Primerica. It's a matter of what? How you want to make your money. How you want to have your income coming in. It's amazing to me how adults, sane adults, say, wait a second. Let me explain this. Let me get this straight. I can come into Primerica. I can work it for 3 to 5 years and have an income of $100,000 or more for the rest of my life without having to work. That what I hear you saying? Yeah. Or I can work for 45 to 50 years every week, fighting that traffic, 8 to 12 jobs, and then maybe hope for 4 or 5 good years after that, right? That's my decision. 5 years and then quit, or 45, 50 years and then quit. I'll take the 45 or 50 years, thank you. Because I don't feel comfortable talking to people. I'm not a people person. I would become a people person pretty dadgum quick if I didn't have to work for 40 or 50 years. People behind. I just not a people person. I didn't like math, but I had to go to math class every day for 12 years. Hated every minute of it. Welcome to my world, all you math geniuses. Amazing. I'm not comfortable. But you know what? I love math. When I was in math class, I didn't get it. I was dyslexic in math class. So guess what I decided? Where's the money? In the people business. Primerica was built for people like me and you to have freedom of time, money, and control. We call that a business. The purpose of our business is to fund your perfect life. Are you living the perfect life? And do you have hope? I love what my friend Rick Glacier reminded me of. A story of Warren Buffett said, when the tide goes out, all the people swimming naked are seen. When the economy goes down and you lose your job, we know the decision you made. If you leave here and say, I'm not going to do Primerica, I said, okay, I got it. What are you going to do? You say, well, I'm not going to do Primerica. So let me give you the perfect example of how our business works. A man is walking down the beach, and he sees all these starfish. 10,000 starfish have washed up on shore. And he sees a young man there, one at a time, picking up the starfish and throwing them back in. And he walks up to the young man and says, what difference are you making? Look at all these starfish. And the young man picks up that starfish, looks at it, and says, well, at least I'm making a difference with this one. Isn't that the dumbest? At least I made a difference. In other words, what he's saying? Let the other 10,000 die. I don't care. At least I helped that one. You see, if you're in Primerica, you're laughing at that. No. When Art Williams saw the 100 million whole life policies out there, guess what he said? We're going to replace them all. Not just, well, I helped that one. Well, I helped that one. Because you know what? When it gets dark, you're going in the house. You're going to stop helping people. Now, what does an understanding person who wants 1% off 100 think? You know what? I'm not going to pick up any starfish. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into town, and I'm going to what? Get you 5 people, right? To do what? No! Me and 5 other people are not going to make a dent. You're never going to pick up a starfish, ever. All you're going to do is what? Go into your town, and you get 5 people, who get 5 people, who get 5 people. And we're all going to be picking up starfish at the end of the day. And we're going to save all 10,000. You save the starfish, hang in there. You think you're going to die, but you're not. We're going to save all y'all. All y'all are going to be saved, all of them. Instead of, well, I'm going to go help one. See, there's no nobility in that. Our company decided to save them all. And I'm glad Art had that decision because I'm one of the people he saved. Through Virginia Carter. That's our system. 5 who get 5, who get 5, who get 5 can save the world. Now, what does that mean? This system is so weird. It is, isn't it? 5 who get 5, who get 5. A woman had a son who's 32 years old, was diagnosed with ALS. And she was disturbed because she said, that's a death sentence. And what cures people? Money. You know that? Money. Oh, no, medicine. Well, who's going to pay for the medicine? Who's going to research the medicine? You ask any researcher, we need the money. You give us enough money, we'll cure everything on the planet. So one of his friends said, I got an idea. We're going to raise a lot of money. And he developed something called the Ice Bucket Challenge. I would have had the ice cream eating challenge, but that's me. And what do? They dump ice on their head, and what's the first words out of their mouth? I challenge Kevin, and I challenge Kenny, and I challenge Mark to do the same thing. And guess what? Kenny said, I'll take that challenge. Dumps it on his head. I challenge 3 people, who challenge 3 people, who challenge 3 people. They raised $125 million in 8 months. Now, what does that mean? That means it rushed the research for a cure for ALS 5 years forward. Yeah, if you had ALS, you'd be going, yeah, I like this ice bucket 3, who get 3 stuff. Then there's a guy in Boston, Massachusetts, who gets mad at his girlfriend. Comes back to his apartment and said, we got to figure out a way to let everybody on campus know that she's a bad person. So he went to this guy and said, fancy word, create an algorithm, all right, so that we can let everybody on the campus know. The guy goes to work, creates an algorithm. What's that algorithm? You get 7 friends who get 7 friends who get 7 friends, and we can encapsulate the whole campus just like that. And that's what he did. And in 12 years, they went from 1 person to 1.5 billion. And you know, a lot of people laugh at Facebook. It's just the way. No, it's changed lives. I mean, if something happened 20 miles from here, within seconds, everyone knows about it to protect themselves through Facebook. And that man is named Mark Zuckerberg, and he is worth $43 billion. Art Williams came in and had 7 good people, and he told them to get 7 good people and 7 good people, and Citigroup bought him out for $1 billion. What did they buy? Our algorithm, our mathematical model. That's what he bought. They bought from him for $1 billion. You see, what is the quickest, fastest way to save the world? And we've got the mathematical model here. So when people say, well, I don't like that, well, good. Here's the pen. Don't be showing something better, right? No, we've got the model. We've got the method to do it. The guy walks into an art museum and looks around and, kind of not impressed. So he's walking out. And he says to the guard, not much to look at, and there is there. And the guard said, sir, the art isn't on trial here, the visitors are. We're not on trial here. Y'all are. Here's the pen. Show me something better. If you really have a job that you love, come up to me afterwards and talk to me why I should quit this and my income and my thousands of people I have and go do what you do in your career 100% off. If you can't do that, that means down deep you really don't want to be doing what you're doing. If you would trade places with Rhonda Byer and Jerry Byer and me and Greg Fitzpatrick, then you got to get out of what you're doing if you would trade places. We got the algorithm. We've got the math here. It's not whether or not this is possible. This question is whether or not it is impossible. And you know down deep this is not impossible. You know down deep if you'll give us 6 months to build something for you, that your life will never be the same again. But you got to walk in here what? Ready to run. If you're not ready to run, no one's going to help you. If you say to yourself, dadgummit, my presidential candidate didn't get elected, I have no chance in life now. No. I don't care who's mayor of this city. It's not dependent on anybody. Why? Our whole goal is to get you 100 people. Our whole goal is to get you to 35,000 feet. We can do that. Try us. If we can't do it, what do you got to lose? Imagine what your life can be like in about 6 months. Few are those willing to do the unusual to experience the incredible. Well, this is different. Yeah, it is. Because the usual, right, doesn't work. We don't turn your life upside down. We turn it right side up. This is the life you should be living, except you don't have enough people. We will get you the people. Again, are you going to fight us on it? Are you going to go home to your family and say, I've never had a chance to make it big? I remember where I was when I said it. If I ever have a chance to make it big, I got to take that chance. Art Williams said, at some point in your life, you're going to have to go for it. Whatever that is, you have to say, if I have my opening, I've got to take that chance. If you had an 18-year-old kid who says, I want to make it in the NFL, you're going to say, yeah, give it a try. If you have an 18-year-old kid, I want to make it in baseball, yeah, I want to give it a try. But when you're 40, you're afraid of being laughed at. Well, understand, you're being laughed at right now by us. Because you've chosen 100% off one income when you easily could have had 100 or more people coming. Warren Buffett said this, unless you're making money while you sleep, you're going to have to work until the day you die. You go, okay, got it, all right, Because a lot of you on Monday morning, you're going to that job, and you're going to suck it up, and you're going to say to yourself, I can't stand one more day, but you stand one more day, and you bury your life in football, fantasy football, television, and alcohol to numb yourself to the life you've chosen. Just take a look at any grocery store. Just walk in any grocery store. What is the largest aisle in a grocery store? The wine section. And that's not because it tastes good. What decision do you make? If you had to make a decision right now, you're going to have to make that decision now, not tomorrow. 100% off one or 1% off 100. What's your decision? What's your decision? A 35,000-foot life where you're above all the problems, or a 5,000 to 7,000 life when you know the storms are going to be incredibly bad and you're going to have to go through it and you're not going to have enough money because your time is coming? Give us 6 months and give us 6 names and watch what could happen to you. Thank you very much. We sit down and we pick out the best one. Here's what happens. And you know all the names. I get your best guy. Wow.